Hello and welcome to the Channel 1 Newsroom from our studio at number 5, Ola Hansen Lane at Tessano. I am Zoe Abube-Eduardo. Coming up. Constitution Review Committee presents report to President Mahama proposing, amongst other things, a 5-year presidential term.
The 4-year term was short. It was too short. And we also then learned that the emerging global norm was 5, and that even in the region, we in Nigeria have the lowest. 4 is pretty low. So we're proposing an extension by 1 more year.
6 people, including a 3-month-old baby, perished following a fire outbreak at Ibuakwa Misha in the Akrima-Mwabeja South Municipality of the Ashanti region. Still to come, Attorney General Dr. Dominic Kayine to prosecute founder of the Liberal Party of Ghana along with 2 others over alleged financial crimes involving a cocoa board contract.
The evidence shows that they engage in various criminal offenses, including stealing, forgery, and money laundering. And they will be charged by my office, again, as I said, upon resumption of work after the Christmas holiday.
Later, patrons urged to secure seats at most anticipated Situation All-White Party as organizers announce deadline for reservations.
As long as your calendar says 22nd, you are safe. But the moment we get to 23rd, you know that rat channel and foul.
In Channel 1 business. Bank of Ghana issues firm deadlines for banks to reduce non-performing loan ratios by end of 2026. In Channel 1 Sports. Morocco silences Comoros while Zambia and Mali share spoils in opening games of Africa Cup of Nations. Thank you for your time. Let's begin with the Constitution Review Committee, which is proposing a 1-year extension of Ghana's presidential term, recommending a shift from the current 4-year tenure to allow government more time to govern effectively. Presenting the committee's report to President John Mahama on Monday, December 22, Chairman of the committee, Professor Henry Kwesi Prempeh, clarified that the proposal does not include a 3rd term option for presidents. Channel 1 News' presidential correspondent Akosia Ochre reports.
The 8-member committee, chaired by Professor H. Kwesi Prempeh, was tasked with reviewing the 1992 Constitution. Since January, the team has engaged in wide consultations with relevant stakeholders across the country. A key recommendation in the report submitted to the government is a call for the introduction of another year for the presidential term.
We couldn't find a place for a 3rd term for the president. So we looked and looked and looked. We couldn't find. We realized that the president himself doesn't like it. Nobody really seems to like it. There wasn't much of a demand for it at all. The only thing about that was the invitation for us to clarify ambiguity, and we didn't even want to go there. We didn't think that 66.2 raised any issues in terms of ambiguity, so we kept it the way it is. However, we believe we took to heart the recommendations that we got from many of the eminent persons that we met, including some who have occupied your seat, that the 4-year term was short. was too short. And we also then learned that the emerging global norm was 5. And that even in the region, we in Nigeria have the lowest. I mean, 4 is pretty low. So we're proposing an extension by 1 more year. We have coupled that with certain recommendations on in the area of campaigning, because the claim was that the president takes about 6 months or so to set up, and then 1 year campaigning and all of that.
The proposed reforms include changes to the Council of State, the election of MMDCs, and the cancellation of year-round political campaigns.
We are proposing a campaign season, a short one, so that government will have time to govern, and that the people we elect to do the government's business will really have time to focus on governing as opposed to doing campaigning. So for the first time, we hope, if this is accepted, that we will have a political or electoral environment where campaigns, we do not run 24-hour, 24/7, 4-year campaigns, but where there is a definite period before which parties and candidates may not do campaigning.
Receiving the reports, the president commended the committee for its work and assured that implementation of the recommendations will commence in earnest.
I believe that the Council of State giving a bigger role in those appointments will create more credibility in terms of people who are appointed to those positions. Of course, the president will still sign the appointment letters, but the Council of State will go through the process of identifying the persons to be appointed. So these are all some of the teasers I was giving before, which you are now hearing. And I want to thank the committee very much. On behalf of the people of Ghana, you have done a great service to our nation. We're moving from the constitutional review process into the implementation process. And so early next year, we would announce an implementation committee. And of course, we're going to call some of you to come and serve on that committee, because we need that institutional memory transferred into the implementation.
Now, the Attorney General and Minister for Justice, Dr. Dominic Ayine, is set to prosecute the founder of the Liberal Party of Ghana, LPG, Percival Kofi Akpaloo, along with his wife, over alleged financial crimes involving a cocoa board contract. Dr. Ayine announced at the Government Accountability Series that plans are also underway to prosecute Wontumi Farms and its directors for alleged financial crimes linked to the Ghana Export-Import Bank. There is more in this report filed again by Akosi.
Fresh prosecution is set to be initiated against the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Bernard Entwi-Bosuako, popularly known as Chairman Wontumi. The Attorney General has accused Wontumi Farms and its directors of alleged financial crimes involving the Ghana Exim Bank.
He forged the invoice he obtained from Kasama Enterprise by removing the word invoice and replacing it with receipt. This forged receipt was then submitted to Exim Bank as proof that he had purchased the equipment after the disbursement of the loan facility. Investigations established that Chairman Wontumi did not purchase any equipment, and as such could not register any equipment in the joint names of Exim Bank and Wontumi Farms Limited as per the loan conditions, even though funds were disbursed to him to that effect. A contract, but constitute acts of criminality by no means a person than the regional chairman of the then ruling party.
The Attorney General's office will also prosecute the founder of the Liberal Party of Ghana, Percival Kofi Akpaloo, along with his wife, over alleged financial crimes involving a cocoa board contract.
First Bank Ghana Limited conducted an internal investigations and corroborated the fraud allegations that we have made, concluding that Akpaloo knowingly misrepresented ownership of the checks and deposited them into the wrong account. The bank acknowledged operational failures in detecting the discrepancies between the check payee names and the account numbers. The suspects who have been investigated are Percival Kofi Akpaloo, Poma Ghana Limited, the Poma with the H, and Delvin Akpaloo, his wife. that is the spouse of Kofi Apalu. The evidence shows that they engage in various criminal offenses, including stealing, forgery, and money laundering. And they will be charged by my office, again, as I said, upon resumption of work after the Christmas holidays.
Meanwhile, Dr. Ayene has warned the public officers implicated in the National Service Authority scandal risk having their property seized if they fail to refund surcharged funds within 14 days.
The notices of disallowance and surcharge have been duly issued and served on the said public officers. After 14 days, if they fail to show cause why the sums of money should not be disallowed and surcharged on them, the money becomes a debt due and owing to the Republic. And I will proceed to take civil action to recover the sums involved. Once a judgment is obtained, it will be executed using the civil procedure mechanisms, including the attachment of properties they own, whether or not these properties were part of the proceeds of crime.
We take it to the Ashanti region now, where fire officers are appealing to owners of residential facilities to install and prioritize the use of smoke detectors to safeguard the lives of tenants and occupants. The appeal follows a tragic dawn fire that swept through an apartment at Ibuakwa Minshia in the Atwemangwa South municipality, claiming the lives of 6 people, including a 3-month-old baby. Channel 1 News' Middle Belt Bureau Chief Hafiz Tijani reports.
The cause of the fire, which broke out around 12:30 a.m. on Monday, is yet to be established. The blaze occurred shortly after power was restored to parts of the Ashanti region following a temporary outage on Sunday evening. Fire officers from Nkawe and Twedia fire stations were dispatched to the scene to bring the situation under control. However, the victims were reportedly trapped inside the apartment, leading to their deaths.
Kakra me hu ya ne se na me da honomo na me te se omo yesi fia heshi me fie wra ne baba yesi fia heshi na e ma ye nyina ye gibu na me ye den me di pie ye ti ye pie be gina anim ha na fe na ye kai se ye nyina ye hu ne ye kai se ba time ba ko ne ma ne nuamo e hye honom ti e ba sa na me start yi phone se me dey frɛ wo mo e frɛ afon ne nko ti fire service for ba yo mbedum gya no e no mo hu se enipa nsia emanum be ma baako.
Investigations into the incident have since commenced, with fire officers renewing calls for households to install smoke detectors and keep fire extinguishers readily available. They are also urging the public to place safety above security concerns.
This fire happened in the night whilst they were sleeping. Therefore, I advise that everybody should buy a smoke detector. The smoke detector will pick the smoke, and then alarm will be given you. Then you will hear that, oh, there is something happening. Then you can wake up. Usually when you are sleeping and there is fire outbreak, the smoke, the toxic weakens you. That when it weakens you, you cannot just wake up. So more or less you are dead before the fire will come, the smoke alone. So please let individual buy these smoke detectors and install them. It will help. We should also buy this firefighting equipment, the fire extinguisher. Not only do we buy them, but we should also know how to use them.
Police have transported the charred remains of the victims and deposited them at the morgue. The incident has left neighbors and residents of the area devastated and in deep shock.
Our fire officers have begun investigations to unravel the circumstances that led to the fire here that claimed the lives of 6 people. But it's been a moment of grief for residents and neighbors who are coming here to witness the incident. Hafiz Tijani, Channel 1 News, Menche Buakwa, Shanti Beauty.
To some more stories now, and the East Dadekotopon Development Trust has clarified that but for a specific 2-acre parcel of land, a recent Supreme Court judgment has not affected the ownership of its lands. At a press conference in Accra, the trust explained that the Supreme Court's judgment delivered on November 12, 2025, in the case between Adolf Tete Eje and Anas Arumeya Anas only struck down a lease granted by a former trustee without the consent of other trustees, as the court declined to rule on the validity of the trust founding consent judgment. Board chairman of the trust, Joseph Ni Anan Lami, stressed that it was not a party to the case and that its land certificate remains valid and has been upheld by several Supreme Court decisions in 2019 and 2020.
The Supreme Court found against the claim of the plaintiff respondent. It was explicitly stated in the judgment that the Supreme Court could not grant the relief of the appellant, the first defendant, within the context of the suit before it. The reasons given was that the fundamental issues of the validity of the 2001 consent judgment of the High Court, creating the EDDT, as well as the 2015 consent judgment of the Court of Appeal, especially relative to the interests or otherwise of the Atata China Ache and Numo Ofuli Kwashi families, was the subject of a suit pending at a high court to be determined. To the extent that the Supreme Court declined to pronounce on the validity of the above judgment, the EDDT remained unaffected by the said judgment, except perhaps in respect of the subject matter of the suit, the land measuring 2 acres.
Now, a looming health crisis and a disaster is awaiting residents of Tema, heavy industrial area within the Tema metropolis, following the encroachment of a wetland that serves as a major sewer system for the area by unidentified developers. An earlier report filed by Channel 1 Fauzuma Saudu showed concrete walls have been erected directly over waste pipelines that convey sewage into the Chemu Lagoon, effectively obstructing the natural flow of waste. We have been joined on the phone line by the Mayor of Tema, Ibi Bright, to speak on this particular issue. Good evening, madam. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Siti. Good evening to you and all your listeners and viewers.
Have you become aware of construction activities on this wetland that is close to the Tema Lube Oil Company?
Yes, we are. We were made aware of this a few days ago when some companies reached out to us about the construction of a drain near their facilities that was causing distress to their sewage system. And so we imagined that this was a drain. And so I sent some officers of the assembly to go and check what was going on. At first, they assumed that it was the assembly because we're the only ones with a mandate to carry out such activity. But I think that once they approached those doing the construction, to complain about the effect it was having, they realized that it wasn't the assembly after all. So we went, over there, and unfortunately, it wasn't just construction of a drain, but reclamation of the wetland that was feeding into the Chim Lagoon. And unfortunately, this is the lowest area in that portion of the industrial area, which basically all our sewage infrastructure from the pipes into the chambers and everything feeds into this particular spot. And also all the water, this holds the water and then, takes it through the degradation system before it feeds into the lagoon. And so, unfortunately, the land there was being reclaimed. But you see, the sad thing is that this is the daily reality in Tema. When the last shot that we took of that particular area was 2 months ago, and this is an area that has laid undisturbed for, since Tema was built. But every single day, places like this are taken up by unbridled greed that does apply no sense. This is a distressing situation that is characteristic of all of the activity that's going on all over the city, and we can barely keep up with it. Unfortunately, yes, sorry.
Please end.
Pardon?
Okay, so clearly the assembly wasn't consulted and wasn't notified before any development commenced on this site. But can you confirm whether there was any permit issued by the TMA for this construction?
Definitely not. That is the whole. This is the whole idea behind the permitting. It's for us to be able to determine if that area is safe for what kind of development. And this is why the most dangerous thing is to have development uncontrolled or development permitted by the authority that is not mandated to do so. So this is the problem. We've run out of, a proper land in Tema. And so most of what is going on as new land is reclamation. And unfortunately, in spite of the fact that the mandate is vested in the assembly to be the sole spatial planning and development agent, we have these duties duplicated illegally by other agencies. And this is a challenge that we're trying to fight, but it's very complicated. In any case, the laws are there. And so immediately we started to prepare our position by law so that we can serve the perpetrators. Unfortunately, because we went on site to inspect construction of a gutter, and because we didn't even understand what was going on, by the time we realized the gravity of the crime, then there's nobody there to hold immediately. But we're going into our investigations to identify who this developer is, who this individual reclaiming the land, because there have been many crimes committed on this particular spot. And so we're taking the legal route, which must be also one of the first spots of engagement in this kind of situation.
All right, so how soon can residents expect concrete action to reverse this damage that has been done?
Well, to be honest with you, I don't know how we reverse the damage that has been done. This is, how do you begin to excavate over 1.5 meters of filling, compacted filling? How do you recover? The challenge that we face right now is that the kind of material used to construct this drainage was never meant to withstand this kind of pressure. And so by the time we go through any of these activities, we've already messed everything up. If you go to the site already, the sewage is bubbling up and pouring into, so it is already a disaster. It is already a disaster, and that is why I'm saying that the usual methods of cease and desist, stop work, and we're gonna, just go there and say stop. It's not going to do it in this case. This is a crime against the city in the worst way possible. This is not just about taking land illegally. It is about destroying the whole infrastructure of the city and plunging most of our industrial area into crisis. Essentially, what this person has done is to make the rest of the industrial area a lagoon. It's unconscionable, and it's beyond sad, but I think that it's clear what we must do. And I want to use this opportunity to beg the public to understand, just how desperate the situation in Tema is right now. The Ramsar site that everybody is on and on about is facing the same challenge, because the closer you are to the regularly built up areas, the more likely you are sitting on our sewage infrastructure. And so the sewage crisis in Tema is not only about old pipes and infrastructure that needs to be replaced, but infrastructure that is distressed because we lost our discipline a long time ago.
So aside the legal route that you are going to use, what other measures are you going to put in place to ensure that this Ramsar site is protected?
Well, this particular site is not a Ramsar site, but the protection can only be legal. I mean, as a first point of call, because at this point, the damage has gone beyond education. We're going to ramp up in 2026 with finally being able to include a lot of education, stakeholder engagement, and public engagement in our action plans. And so we're going to engage the public on just what this kind of behavior can portend for the future of all of us. It's not just an issue of we don't want you to do it. It's an issue of we can't afford for you to do it. Not even you can afford to do this. But I think that most importantly, this one is beyond a negotiation that doesn't involve any punitive measures. It must. The full weight of the law must be carried out, and by us, the assembly, leading that. Otherwise, the industries have promised me that they will take action. And so we as a government are not going to sit down and be sued by our citizens. That is too costly. We must do our job. And that is it. The laws are there, forged by hardworking people, experienced people, and people who do care about this nation. The only duty we have is to enforce it. So then there's no excuse that, yes, we have limited manpower, we can't monitor every space, and we're dependent to a large extent on just common sense and, patriotism from people. But still, we must enforce the law, and that is where we have failed up until now.
All right, thank you so much for your time. That was E.P. Bright, who is the mayor of Tema, speaking to us. They are still watching the Channel 1 Newsroom. I am Zoe Abubedu Ado. Still to come. Bank of Ghana issues firm deadlines for banks to reduce non-performing loan ratios by end of 2026. We'll bring you the details shortly. Please stay.
Having the right diagnosis can save your life. Welcome to SynLab. Inside the state-of-the-art facility, patients have the benefits of cutting-edge technology, experienced lab technicians, personalized care in our ultra-modern clinic, and most importantly, answers.
I've been doing all my tests at MedLab for over 20 years, till they rebranded to SynLab. He was just a little boy when I started bringing him to MedLab. Oh, sorry, SynLab.
SynLab is the new MedLab.
My family trusts SynLab.
At SynLab, our highly trained personnel give our clients personalized attention every step of the way.
SynLab is the preferred option for your annual routine health checks to avoid negative health surprises.
SynLab is the new MedLab.
SynLab, medical excellence for you.
Unbelievable. Said you have a city and the Amama Kai or baby and home fair. Wow! Hello, Miss World.
Hello, Ajimara.
Now I hear now what to say.
Me who yo, madam for be ho e wakase. Mene ne ye nneema do so.
Me nya na nka me wogana. Na so me talk, me na wiasia na mabepie electronic shop bi a kire say. Said you have city no. Na ohunfo nyini ene shawo mani so say. Me ba better gold, diamond, jewels, nickels, pearls, blankets, everything. I'm a
Ajimara of international waters. Hey!
Wow! Obwa, onya bochire bia.
Obwa wani breno.
Yenkwana no bochire.
Eti abroche nani?
Sister, Electroland Ghana Limited showroom for Krani. Kasi Kumase, Omo when you say Samsung, TCL, Media, and a NASCO product. I don't know munya bochiro. Omo me able to say Kaswa, Asamai, Makasim, Tamale, Sprinters, Coca-Cola.
Ajimara, eti me na nka beti chejuma kutu dia so me say bam.
Me private jet no kwa. E be see me na me ba. Let's bygone be bygone. Hey, enyema mo pese mo yiri wa bia. Munyi
yo yebeyi.
Electroland Ghana, home of electronics and affordable luxury.
Hey Ghana, so you people know Miss Brother Man's more. If you it's your boy. Kill them all, kill them all. But this time, I'm not only killing mosquitoes, I am killing the great. See? This wouldn't have been possible if I didn't have the perfect mosquito-free atmosphere. Thank you, Out Insecticide. And yeah, Out Mosquito Coil. For a mosquito-free atmosphere, trust Out to... You are not serious.
Out Insecticide. So ya boa, faham.
Remember when I turned 50, I did this show, it was called KSM 50. That was KSM 50. Now, the favorite show I did since KSM 50 was called The Secret of GH Girls.
Very soon you'll be in a car and you are going, yes, no for.
I'm 69. But even at 69, I've come up with a new brilliant show. Your friend, Old Age is a Rascal. And it's coming to you live from the Cactus Creek. And it's happening on the 25th, 26th, and the 27th of December. Old Age is a Rascal. You can't miss this. It starts with a lunch buffet. Starts at 1, and then about 4:30, we take a break, and you come and see the special. Old Age is a Rascal. And the number to call is 055 039 5007.
You welcome back to the Channel 1 Newsroom. Up next is Channel 1 Business with Netili Neti Ajaho.
This Christmas Eve, skip the ordinary and step into the extraordinary. Welcome to the Situation All White Party 2025, where the music never stops, the energy never drops, and the fun never ends. Celebrating grand style with great music, irresistible food, and an atmosphere that screams good vibes only. Date 24th December 2025. Venue Good Park near the Accra Mall. Time 8 p.m. till late. Dress code, it's an all-white affair. Get ready for electrifying live performances from Kofi Kinata, Kwabua, Perez Music, Efonko Bobano, Inyala Yito Iketon, Inchin Band, and DJ Mingle. Your best all-white fit. Bring your dancing shoes and let's light up the night together. Book your tables now. Call 0205-973-973 or 0558-973-973. It's Christmas Eve. Don't miss it. The Situation All-White Party 2025 is powered by Channel 1 TV and 97.3 City FM, and it's proudly sponsored by EcoBank, Bethel Logistics, and Hallmark Cafe, and supported by Oswald Investments Limited, Verb Duvernay, and Logistics Movers.
DJ, bring the tune back again. Shock the fans, so I see Franco from Guess will keep that.
Good to have you, Netili.
Good to have you, Zoe.
What do you have for us from the business world?
Okay, the Bank of Ghana is urging commercial banks to ensure that bad loans are reduced in the system.
All right. Take it up.
Let's get straight to our stories. And as part of efforts to strengthen asset quality and safeguard financial stability, the Bank of Ghana has given banks firm deadlines to reduce non-performing loan ratios to a safe limit of 10% by the end of 2026. Governor Dr. Johnson Esiama said the improving macroeconomic environment provides an opportunity for intelligent loan restructuring by commercial banks, allowing viable borrowers to be supported without compromising prudential standards. Here is more. The NPL reduction target is part of a broader strategy to ensure that asset quality remains a top priority, particularly as interest rates begin to ease. As of October 2025, Ghana's banking sector NPL ratio stood at 19.5%, down from 22.7% a year earlier, reflecting ongoing efforts to clean up bank balance sheets. Speaking at the Governor's Day annual bankers dinner organized by the Chartered Institute of Bankers Ghana, Dr. Johnson Esiama encouraged banks to preserve viable credit relationships while ensuring the risks are properly recognized and managed through structured loan restructuring.
The banking sector entered the year still bearing the effects of the Domestic Debt Exchange Program, or what we know as the DDAP. Capital adequacy pressures were real, as at the end of 2024, 11 banks had recorded capital ratios that were below the prudential threshold. But by November this year, that number had reduced to 5, reflecting recapitalization efforts, supervisory engagement, and improving macro conditions. The expectation remains clear in all these. Remaining capital gaps have to be closed and buffers rebuilt.
Dr. Johnson Esiama also outlined key priorities for 2026.
In the year ahead, we expect this momentum to deepen, with banks playing a more active role in financing export-oriented enterprises, managing trade risk, and helping firms move from domestic markets into regional and global value chains.
As Ghana's cryptocurrency and virtual assets law awaits presidential assent, regulators are stepping up efforts to close gaps in the rapidly expanding digital asset space. The Securities and Exchange Commission, in collaboration with the Bank of Ghana, has launched a national virtual asset literacy program aimed at strengthening anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism financing compliance among virtual asset market operators. There's more in the following report.
Cryptocurrency designed to enable transactions without traditional intermediaries has seen rapid adoption across Africa, with user numbers rising from 40.1 million to 43.5 million in 2025. According to the Securities and Exchange Commission, the literacy program is meant to prepare operators for full enforcement of the law.
The key challenges with crypto is its risk on AML and CFT. When I say AML, it's anti-money laundering and terrorism financing. And these are very key risks that we thought it's important that we take the market operators through those guidelines so that they understand what the AML requirements are, reporting requirements are, so that they can put measures in place so that we can, the crypto will be used properly, fairly, so that it will not be used, improperly, to finance, terrorism and also to launder money through our financial system.
Now, the Rubber Farmers Association of Ghana is calling on government to maintain existing regulated export regime for raw rubber, insisting that recent claims of revenue losses are misleading. The association had dismissed reports suggesting that unchecked exports are costing the nation up to $100 million annually. This report has more.
It is estimated that in 2023, Ghana exported $182 million worth of rubber, making it the 10th largest rubber exporter out of 130 countries worldwide. But the Ghanaian sector has come under intense pressure with calls to ban raw rubber exports. The Rubber Farmers Association of Ghana says such measures would hurt the industry and livelihoods. Michael Nyako and other executives addressed the press to clarify the farmers' position.
This is an allegation made by the rubber processors, We question the source of the alleged $100 million loss when it is on record that some processing companies are not paying statutory levies to the Tree Crop Development Authority, contrary to claims of supporting government revenue mobilization. We rather have reliable information that exporters are complying with the payment of levies to government. We therefore call on the government of Ghana to maintain the existing regulated export regime, strengthen oversight where necessary, and resist pressure to impose policies that would harm hundreds of thousands of livelihoods for the benefit of a few companies.
Let's now bring you an update on how the currency is performing on the interbank market. And that's all for business. I am Netele Nete Ajahu. Back to you, Zoe.
Thank you so much, Netele Nete. Let's bring you some more stories now. And the Minister for the Interior, Muntaka Mohamed Mubarak, has warned personnel of the National Signal Bureau against abusing their authority to extort or exploit members of the public, stressing that any officer found culpable will face dismissal. He delivered the caution during the commissioning of a new National Signal Bureau office in Sunyani. The Interior Minister also urged other security agencies in the Bono region to make full use of the Signal Bureau's facilities to improve their operational effectiveness. Channel 1 News' Michael Sapongafum reports.
The newly commissioned National Signals Bureau facility in Sunyani is expected to boost the monitoring of security-related activities across the Bono region. It is also aimed at improving coordination and collaboration among the various security agencies operating in the region. Speaking at the handover ceremony, the Minister for the Interior, Muntaka Mohamed Mubarak, cautioned officers of the National Signals Bureau against engaging in extortion or exploitation, warning that any misconduct will attract severe sanctions, including dismissal. He further encouraged sister security agencies to fully utilize the facility to strengthen their operations.
I want to take this opportunity to inform the other security agencies. Please make better use of this facility. Don't see it as a National Signal Bureau staff facility. This facility is for all of you. It is to help you to be able to respond swiftly. It is to help you to be able to gather intelligence accurately. It is to help you and assist you so that you can be more efficient in your day-to-day activities within the region. This facility is established for your benefit. Every person, and whether under the National Signal Bureau or National Security Apparatus, that is given an opportunity to serve, please don't use this as a license to intimidate people. Don't use this as a license to extort. Don't use this as a license to misbehave. I have given clear instructions to both the National Security Coordinator and the National Signal Bureau Data General. Many of you are within your probationary period. We see the slightest sign that your interest is not to protect our citizens. Your interest is to extort, and you'll be on your way out.
Meanwhile, the Director General of the Signals Bureau, Dr. George Atabuatin, reaffirmed the Bureau's commitment to its mandate of providing nationwide digital surveillance.
The Signals Bureau remains firmly committed to its core mandate of digital surveillance, early warning intelligence, protection of critical national infrastructure, and the provision of secure digital systems in support of national security operations. We reaffirm our resolve to proactively neutralize digital and cyber-enabled threats before they materialize, ensure public safety, uphold the highest standards of professionalism, and at all times respect and protect the rights and freedoms of the people of this region.
On his part, the National Security Coordinator, COP Abdul Razak Osman, called for enhanced collaboration between security agencies and the public to effectively combat crime across the country.
It will operate as a force multiplier with professionalism, discretion and legal compliance. There's always a tendency that NSB does monitor people illegally. Let me assure you, the current Director General and his team are professionals, and they work in the interest of the general public. I call all to this action, therefore, that security is a shared responsibility. We require that all should cooperate with the workers in this facility. We are looking at political leaders, traditional authority, and all other security agencies, including the public at large.
The Chair Minister has called on other security agencies within the Buno region to make good use of this new facility and also collaborate with other security agencies to help in the fight against crime within the Buno region. For Channel 1 News, Michael Saponifum, Sunyani.
Now, December 24 is just around the corner, and the biggest Christmas party, the Situation All-White Party, beckons. Patrons who have not yet booked tables for the Situation All-White Party are being urged to act swiftly as organizers move to finalize plans for the event. Organizers say reservations are filling up rapidly ahead of the annual All-White event at the Good Park, and the deadline for late bookings ends December 22. Melody of Akpotufe reports.
That's all. We just zenzel.
As excitement builds for what promises to be one of the most anticipated social events of the festive season, organizers say demand has surged. Head of Events and Partnerships at Channel 1 TV and City FM says reservations are filling up rapidly ahead of the annual all-white event scheduled to take place at Good Park. She further noted that the deadline for table bookings ends by close of business on Monday, December 22, stressing that no extensions will be granted once reservations close.
I'm happy to say that by close of business today, Monday 22nd, we can't take any more.
Wow.
And that's where we are. And for those who are still contemplating, probably we have to add it to your New Year resolution, you know, that in 2026, I would want to make it for Situation, because by now, people have ironed their clothes, people have polished their shoes. We are just waiting. The grills we are setting the fire for the grills, you know, we are setting the fire. In fact, that is saying for the frying of the yam is already on fire. We are pouring the oil already. You know, so, I mean, everything is ready. So if by now you want to be at Situation and you've not done the needful, I don't think you really want to be at
So is that to say that from now to like what time is the grace period for individuals or organizations to call the numbers now?
As long as your calendar says 22nd, you are safe. But the moment we get to 23rd, you know that rap channel and foul.
Party goers are therefore encouraged to secure their tables early to avoid disappointment and ensure access to an unforgettable night of premium entertainment, top-tier music, and an elegant all-white experience. For bookings and further inquiries, call 0205 973 973 or 0558 973 973. Now, if you're eligible to attend the Situation All-White Party, organizers say rest easy and make your way to Good Park on December 24 for a thrilling experience. For Channel 1 News, Melody Fafa Otife. The Situation All-White Party 2025 is powered by Channel 1 TV and 97.3 City FM and is proudly sponsored by EcoBank, Bethel Logistics, and Hallmark Cafe, with support from Oswald Investment Limited, Verve Duvernay, and Logistics Movers.
You are still watching the Channel 1 Newsroom. Still to come. Morocco silences Comoros while Zambia and Mali share spoils in opening games of Africa Cup of Nations. Please stay tuned. We'll bring the details shortly.
Christmas, my favorite time of the year. This festive season, Volta Serene Hotel invites you to experience the magic of Christmas and New Year like never before. From 20th of December to the 1st of January, step into a world of joy, music, laughter, and celebration. We begin on the 20th with a soulful carols night, filling the air with warmth and melody. Then, on 23rd and 24th of December, arrive in style as we welcome you with fresh coconut and local treats. Christmas Day brings pure delight, exciting moments for kids, relaxing escape for adults, and an elegant all-white dinner under the stars, crowned with a spectacular fireworks display. On Boxing Day, embrace culture and rhythm, from picnics and traditional dance to an unforgettable high life and old school night. As the week unfolds, enjoy movie night, live music, karaoke, and endless fun, until we welcome 2026 with a breathtaking fireworks show on New Year's Eve. Special Christmas packages starting from 4,050 for individuals, 5,250 for couples, and 8,900 Ghana cedis for a family of 4 for 2 nights. Call or WhatsApp 0541 539 867 or 0362 025 243 to book your experience today. Volta Serene Hotel. Feel the serene touch.
Hey Ghana, so you people know Miss Brother Man Small. If you knew, it's your boy. Kill them all. But this time, I'm not only killing mosquitoes, I am killing the greats. See? This wouldn't have been possible if I didn't have the perfect mosquito-free atmosphere. Thank you, Out Insecticide. And yeah, Out Mosquito Coil. For a mosquito-free atmosphere, trust Out to... You are not serious.
Out Insecticide. So ya boa, faha.
Polytank is everywhere, durable and authentic. Stronger brand you can trust. Polytank, we get some more Rambo and get some more super. And the Polytank every day.
Polytank, Papa Noah, Asa.
You all come back. Up next is Channel 1 Sports with Gabriel Faye. Hello, Gabi.
Hi, Zoe.
I know there's a lot happening in the African Cup of Nations. Yeah. Morocco yesterday won their game. Today, a number of games have gone on. Zambia caused an upset by equalizing against Mali. Which other games?
So as we speak, Egypt are taking on Zimbabwe. And the update is that Egypt are trailing. So Zimbabwe have taken the lead. I'm not too surprised, though, because I think there's a lot of pressure on Mohamed Salah to deliver for his nation, especially on the back of what had happened at Liverpool, the whole episode with his manager, Arne Slot. So let's see if they can come back.
All right, give us the details.
All right, let's start with that. And Patson Daka scored a 92nd minute equalizer. Zambia rescued a dramatic 1-0 draw against Mali in the African Cup of Nations opener in Casablanca, meaning they've now lost just one of their last 6 head-to-heads. Now, early on Sunday, host nation Morocco also silenced Comoros in front of the home crowd. Here's a wrap of the games from the AFCON.
Patson Daka's dramatic stoppage-time header denied Mali victory as Zambia snatched a 1-0 draw in a tense Group A encounter at the Total Energies CAF African Cup of Nations Morocco 2025 on Monday. Mali had looked on course to claim all 3 points after dominating long spells of the contest, but a late lapse in concentration allowed Zambia's talisman to strike at the death and end the Chipolopolo, a valuable point. The Eagles started brightly, imposing themselves from the opening exchanges, controlling possession and pushing Zambia deep into their own half. The result means Morocco set top of Group A with 3 points following their victory over Comoros earlier on Sunday. Second half goals from Brahim Diaz and Ayoub El Kabi secured a hard-fought win for the host in a contest that proved far more demanding than the scoreline suggested, as Comoros remained resilient and determined to frustrate the Atlas Lions. Action at the tournament continues later on Tuesday with 4 matches scheduled. DR Congo will face Benin at 12:30 p.m. Senegal, winners of the 2021 AFCON, take on Botswana. Nigeria will be up against Tanzania, while Tunisia face Uganda at 8 p.m. in the ongoing AFCON tournament.
Right, away from the AFCON, now Sports and Recreation Minister Kofi Adams has called for a series of international friendly matches for the Black Star ahead of the World Cup in June, insisting that adequate preparation will be key to Ghana's success. Now, with Germany currently the only confirmed friendly scheduled to be played in March, the minister believes it will be prudent for the team to begin camping in Ghana before traveling to face other opponents outside the country.
We need to arrange for a number of friendlies. We have had 2 already against Japan and then also South Korea. And even though we did not win those 2 outings, at least everybody saw a good play from the team. We plan to have later also next year in March in the first quarter against Germany. Also, that will be another good platform to see how well the team is, and that during that period we would have about the final opportunity to now be able to form your team. But even before then, we would have some levels of friendlies also back at home. We are going to start camping from home. We will have to give Ghanaians a good preparation, and we will have some matches here, right here in Ghana, for the Ghanaian fan to have a feel of before even we step out there. So,
right, and that's the very latest in the world of sports. I am Gabi Ofe. Back to you. Sorry.
Thank you very much, Gabi Ofe. Now, Christians have in charge to shoulder the needs of the vulnerable in society. This is according to the priest of St. Augustine Anglican Church in Dansoman, who said it's a crucial expectation of Christ from Christians. The priest who spoke to Channel 1 News team when the Women Fellowship of the church donated to the Good Shepherd Orphanage Home in Kaswa, Ofakwo, where he also urged Christians to support the needy during the Christmas period.
Inspired by patron St. Anne's activities of alms giving to the vulnerable, the Anglican Women Fellowship of the church in Dansoman visited the Good Shepherd Orphanage Home in Kaswa, Ofakwo. The women donated items such as vegetable cooking oil, dried and cooked food, as well as toiletries to the home.
Season of Christmas, it's about love, it's about sharing, and it's about spreading the good news. So in the first place, it's the Christmas season. And secondly, our patron St. Anne had the mandate or the calling of giving to the needy, the less privileged, the vulnerable. And as Women Fellowship, we are also emulating that good spirit that St. Anne inculcated in us as a
preaching inside the church. But we thought of going out to go and let people know that God still loves them. We try to let people know that God is using his own hands to touch them and to heal them, especially at the hospitals. So when we go there like that, there are some people there even that they will talk to you that since they came around them, nobody has even come to visit them. So for a church going out there to go and visit, it also brings more hope and more inspiration into their life that all is not lost.
That'll be all for this edition of the Channel 1 Newsroom. I am Zoe Apobedo. Thanks for watching.